It is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful empowered harmonizers, and a special huge shout out to those of you who have recently donated to the Peace and Harmony channel. Thank you so much for stepping up to the plate, stepping up to the batter's box, and making a donation to the channel, because I really feel for those who donate it, you really acknowledge that you've got some skin in the game, that you really have an integral responsibility to yourself to learn and heal and then begin to live a fully empowered, awake, and joyous life. So thank you so much for your contributions, your donations, your comments, and your support of each other. And absolutely, if this channel has been a positive influence in your life, you absolutely can give. There is a PayPal donate now button on the about page. It's just a tiny donate now. So absolutely, please feel free to give if you so feel guided or desire. So we are zooming in and focusing in today on a great viewer question, and that is to really understand the why. Why are they so stuck? Why are their wheels spinning with this individual who they felt that their relationship had some real strong ups, that it was really, it had a good fit for them, but as time wore on, they found that there were certain elements, drawbacks, the fact that they were not really supportive of them, that they didn't really acknowledge them or respect them. They didn't really kind of allow them to be peacefully and coexist in the relationship. And in fact, it got down and dirty. There might, some fights, but yet, why can't they just let it go? Even though they know intellectually that this person has something going on. There's something wrong. There is something, emotionally abusive, that they're always trying to manipulate them, that they can't just be, that they feel that they understand it intellectually, so why can't they just move on? Well, this definitely tends to happen in, the malignant narcissist and the psychopathic relationship. But it's in my opinion that the psychopath, the individual who's overtly, or covertly clever, charming, convincing, conniving, just deceiving, all this sort of shell, all this sort of scheme, all this sort of acting that they do in either their relationships, their job, which belays the fact that they don't have any emotions, they don't really have any feelings for things, they have an attachment disorder, they don't really connect with others in a give and take manner. They free themselves by emotionally manipulating and deceiving others. And that's really, it is how the more in-depth, the more profound the manipulation, the really more gaslit, the more brainwashed, the more scarred this person is going to be. And particularly when it is the ability of a psychopath, really, because they're so convincing and charming. There's a great quote that Dr. Martha Stout put in her book. It's a little clip. I'm just going to get it really quick. A little comment, but what does she say really quick? I'm just going to pull this up. I think it's kind of funny. I saw a werewolf down at Trader Vic's. His hair was perfect. What is that? Who wrote that song? I'm going to find it here. I saw a werewolf down. Let's just get this. Bear with me one moment, kids. Folks, gals, girls. Well, we'll move on. Who wrote that song? A lot of you music buffs will know it. But in other words, it's the ability of a psychopath, a sociopath, to bend people against their will, to have them violate their own standards, to go against their inner judgment. And it's not just like a momentary or a superficial lack of judgment. It's because they had fallen so deeply for this individual, which is nothing but a illusion, literally just a puff, a poof, a passing experience which can no longer be retrieved physically. You can't put your hands on it. So that's why it's so difficult. It's the bending of people. They have an ability to cause them to go against their own will, their own free will. In other words, that gets taken over. That gets hijacked. That ability of free will, which means you have the ability to make decisions, make choices of your own best judgment, of your own best interest, you're going contrary to that. So that's why I talk about how important it is to go into positive, orderly direction thinking. Steering yourself away, taking your eyes off of them, taking your heart off of them, taking your energy away, going against the magnetic pull. So the resistance makes it stronger. So a lot of people feel this compulsion to kind of go back. It's like I also call it like an emotional gaper's block. They just want to, they are in shock. I mean, I think it's, a literal state of like an emotional shock, and it's having trouble recovering your free will, which sounds easy. Why can't you just get your free will back? Like walk 12 steps here, walk 12 steps there, that test by Stuart Wilde. Getting your free will back and actually exercising it to its fullest potential with wherever it is you're at is easier said than done. There is an inertia that takes place. Not only a laziness, but it's almost a learned helplessness. So it's a learned state to be in that down state. And we all have reserves of energy, which means it takes, for example, it takes a certain amount of energy for me to do these videos. Planning, preparing, reading, listening, articulating, making assessments, judgments. What do we need to talk about? What do people need? What are the tools that I'm devising? What has actually worked? How can I make this palatable, usable, applied right away? So people have certain emotional reserves. And so when your will has been violated, it's very difficult to just get out of that inertia, which has been a learned helplessness, to pull out of that sort of like very heavy emotional state to getting your free will back. There's a certain amount of uncertainty, learned helplessness. Learned helplessness means you've been trained and conditioned and programmed by an emotional manipulators that you are meant to feel this down. There's something wrong with you. You are afflicted. You're fatally flawed. You don't have the energy. You don't have the smile. You don't have the chutzpah. You don't have the hitch in your giddy up. Whatever it is, they are always kind of expanding your negative. When you're around them, it's a je ne sais quoi. Once you've exposed them, you can't quite explain it, but they're always magnifying the negative. They're the fault finders. Even though they're not perfect, there's an energetic reflection with which they always kind of communicate this to you. It's an energetic feeling. And so it is because of this experience, which is just how they are. It's just how they're wired. This is going to be the feeling. This is going to be the emotion. This is going to be the experience. But if you can understand I saw a werewolf down at Trader Joe's. His hair was perfect. I mean, in other words, on the appearance, they're not afflicted. They're not suffering. They're not suffering at the hands of their own lack of remorse. They're not suffering at the delusion that they've inflicted. They're not hampered by it. It's nothing to them. In fact, when people are maimed, they say, "See, look how powerful I am. I caused you. I did this." To them, that's what they're taking store of. That's what they are rewarded by. To them, it's showing they're showing their power this way. So that's what they get out of it. That's their reward. That is their why. So it is to understand that you still have your free will. Your free will is when you say, "This is my free will, I'm going to exercise my free will for my positive good." So to exercise it, it takes some exercise. It takes some acknowledgement, getting up off the couch, exercising your free will. I am going to, in other words, propelling yourself for the future and reigniting a vision for something you have for yourself. I am going to feel better. I'm going to do better. I'm going to eat better. I am going to educate myself. I'm going to read. I am going to get new art. I am going to create art. I am. And then that propulsion going forward is the exercise of your free will. The astralmations, where I talk about how important it is for you to speak existence, speak your future into existence, the power of your language. Florence Scovel Shinn, The Game of Life and How to Play It. interestingly enough, like we're not taught this in our early years. Our parents don't tell us this, how important it is to have this positive internal dialogue. It's just not, it's almost taboo. It's not talked about. Yet it is important what to say when you talk to yourself. There's another great book that describes this. When you do this, you begin to then create new synchronicities and new positive events in your life. You begin to enter into the realm of creation, manifestation, bringing new, higher energy, new thoughts, new messages, new omens that you pick up and attend to, that you personally attend to. So it doesn't matter if someone does not resonate with the magicalness of nature. I mean, you might go on a walk and you're like, oh my God, this is magical. The way the sun is on this pond, there's green and there's blue and there's yellow and it's just sparkling. I mean, the fairies, the angels must be here. Something mystical, awesome, sublime is here. It catches your eye, it catches your feeling, it catches your feet, so to speak. Sends you flying. I mean, there's music written about this sublime experience. So this is your free will. This is, your intercession with the divine. This is the divine infinite intelligence saying, hey, let's get together and, let's go for a walk. Like, let's have a meditative moment. Let's have a moment. So it's having those moments for yourself where you ignite your free will, get it going. It's not like it has to be, I'm changing my life in a day or I'm changing my life in an hour. You change your life moment by moment, hour by hour, day by day. And it's acknowledging this, accepting this, giving an amen, stomping your feet, doing, I am, I have, it's getting active. You need to get your physiology. You need to, that's why I talk about, in some of my previous videos, when you're really having a lot of ruminations, and you're stuck in the brainwash, and you have these intrusive thoughts, meaning these thoughts just continue, and you're like, I don't want to feel this way anymore. It's because the ruminations are louder than your internal dialogue. So you need to step up your internal dialogue. You need to say, I am, out loud. Here you go. You're speaking into existence to reset your neural network that is wiring and firing, not only in your brain, your spinal cord, but into your feeling, into your gut, so that you are feeling it. And then your words are louder than those past memories. So you're calling forth new feelings to be reset and wire and fire in your body, in your mind, your emotions, your energy and motion, and you get that conviction of free will. You ignite it, and then you need to practice this. This is not an overnight strategy. This is on the daily. This is, a daily thing for you. And at first you're going to have to give it some effort. Then you're going to feel the results, because you're going to feel better. You're going to take ownership. Your energy is going to get better. Your confidence is going to become better, and it's going to become better subconsciously. So consciously, which means on purpose, I need to be more conscientious of my self-talk, meaning I need to articulate it, direct it, and actually give it language. I am at peace. I am in control. I am magnificent. I am. Speaking these words into existence, your astralmations begin to command the energy in your body to change. Every day, in every way, I'm feeling better and better and better. And when you then move to this astralmation, you're resetting your neural network. You are wiring and firing. You're engaging in neuroplasticity, and you're using your free will. It's a God-given gift. You might as well use it. You might as well wake it up. You might as well say, this is my ally. This is my partner. This is mine. And it's very, very powerful, and it's profound. But once again, it's not taught in school. It's not taught in the family. You have to go looking for it. Maybe the direction in your life, which has brought you to this video, which has said, you are learning a new skill, the skill of free will. And you realize that life is your opportunity. Life is your oyster. Oh, but peace and harmony. I never thought I would say that. Well, that is part of what's holding you back, because your self-talk is telling that you would never say that life is your oyster. You thought you would never feel that way. You could never get to that level. I can never get to that level. That's your self-talk. That's telling you, hey, I'm limited. You know, I'm going to allow this to limit. So it limits all areas of your life. You know, whether how good you feel watching your TV program, the peace, you know, when you can just watch the news and not feel that, you know, your life is in a miserable state because of the horrific stuff going, you know, on the news. You can actually watch it with gratitude and with prayer for peace. You know, you can get up and do something. You can be part of a movement. That is free will. When you activate that your free will, you're activating your willpower. It's like saying, I love the discipline that I have. I love my sense of self-discipline. That has been my astromation, which is very important. I really love that one because it is discipline, which is liberating. It's not, you know, it's not a burden to be disciplined, because a lot of people feel, oh, you know, to do this, it would be a burden. I would be weird, or people would look down at me. That is not the case. Again, you know, we can just say that is your negative self-talk. You need to become conscious of it, meaning aware, and going, nope, no, I'm not going to, you know, I'm not going to be a problem. I'm not going to increase a problematic situation in my life by giving myself that negative self-talk. My doctor appointment will never go right. I will always be overeating. I will always be over drinking. These are your subconscious self-talks, which keep you stuck and keep you feeling down and keep you feeling connected to the abusers, the violators, feeling that's where you fit in. Or, you know, not letting yourself gravitate to a healthier group of people. So it is really igniting your free will. That's why I talk about how important it is to engage in the recovery date, taking yourself out, your healed self out, and giving yourself some time to really interact the way that your highest consciousness would like you to. It's like, how would your highest healed self go out for a yogurt, go out for a coffee? Just for a moment, I'm going to allow myself to be on top of the world, to be released from this hurt, released from this person. If it's only for 2 hours, what am I going to do? How am I going to interact? How am I going to look at people? How am I going to smile? Am I going to go to a sewing store, a hardware store in this state? Am I going to go to a library, a museum? Where does my healed self want to go? If I wasn't feeling so wounded, I would really love to become. If I wasn't so wounded, I would really love to be. If I wasn't so wounded, I would really like to pursue. If I wasn't so wounded, I would be really interested in. I would love to do scuba, fishing, building sandcastles, building a boat. I would like to build furniture. I would like to live by the sea. I would like to walk by the sea. I would like to have sea shoes. I would like to have a bathing suit, a towel. I would like to have a beach picnic. Can you open up? You can see how this opens up doors. It opens up your life. It's edukari. You're educating yourself. It is knowing thyself. It's allowing neuroplasticity and your free will to blossom on its own and to give yourself those experiences and not be having to look over your shoulder afraid that someone's going to judge you, harass you, brainwash you, telling you your happiness is not real. Because at its core level, it's the brainwashing. When someone has gotten you to go against your free will, it's basically saying you don't have the right to be happy and exist and do all the things that means and where that would take you. So it's really looking and drilling down deep at that, and then really looking at how it's impacted your life, and then how it can allow your life to flourish just by acknowledging that. But you have to engage in application. I call that the application quotient. I'm just calling it AQ. To what degree are you applying this? In other words, if you have a certain intellectual quotient, you can understand certain things. To what degree then are you applying the tools, asking yourself the questions, writing them down, and following up? To what degree are you creating a new cycle, a new connection, a new loop in your brain, spinal cord, neural network, and highway within yourself, and giving yourself new experiences on this level? To what degree are you expanding? And then creating this so you're giving yourself a chance of free will, and then negating the power of the narcissist, the psychopath, the one who has gotten you to bend against your will. Oprah Winfrey, I do not let the negative have any power over me. I mean, just meditate on her one statement. I do not let the negative have any power over me. Any. It's not some. She said any, A-N-Y, meaning any power. Can you imagine your life without having any negative power? No negative power has any influence over you. What would you do? How would you feel? Or you're like, oh my God, right? I mean, it's just really an amazing thing. So call forth that state and be in that state and just say, wow, the negative has no power over me. And when you say that, when you affirm that, when you feel that, when you be that, then you realize you are exercising free will, like at its foundation, at the flint and fire, at the flint and steel. I mean, you're at the spark level. You're in the quantum field. You're tapping into the myriads of options, and you're igniting that to set forth. And the universe will respond in like. In other words, the universe will then deliver the positive. The negative has no power over me. So that means what's going to interact with you? The positive, i.e. the life-giving, i.e. the generating, i.e. what you want, i.e. how you feel, how you balance your life, how you give, what you provide. The services, are they positive? I had a viewer, it's all about moving forward. I'm finally beginning to move forward. And it's not backward, it's moving forward. So it's, people just say it, but when you really think about it, what does that mean? And also it is to understand, and part of the healing and regaining your will, which oftentimes the psychopath has the ability to cause people to go against their will, so they have a divot in their energy field. It is to say that now I understand, since that had thrown me out of balance. Oftentimes that's part of the problem, is that it has thrown your life out of balance. Your life and your identity has been echoist, like Dr. Craig Malkin, where you're too much, about, you define yourself by how you satisfy other people's needs. It's scary to turn around that statement. It's scary to turn around that balance and being like, I am going to do this for me. I'm going to get this degree for me. I'm going to do this for me. And not only to set and to realize that when you help yourself, you can then help others through that. But it's very difficult to change the direction and to change the I am from it being out there to in here. So it is understanding that shift. And it's scary, but it's saying that is okay. And it's the right thing to do, and then the negative has no power over you. And then when you encounter the negative, and you're really practiced with time and repetition, when the negative comes, you do not react, you don't jump, you don't put your fingers in the pot of negativity, you don't put your toes in the pool of negativity, you're not seduced, you're not tempted. It no longer has a sizzle to you. You're like, nope, I know it's good. And now the balance comes back, where you're so used to being so overbalanced, like, your life is defined by 80%, of others, 20% by you, 90% by others, 10% by you. It's getting the balance back. And it's saying, okay, it is okay to take care of me. I don't, society doesn't need to give me permission. So-and-so person doesn't need me to give me permission. I'm giving myself permission. I'm taking care of myself. I'm following my interests, and I'm doing this in a balanced manner. In other words, if I want to become a great painter now, if I've discovered, if I wasn't so wounded, I would really love to become a painter. It doesn't mean you have to all of a sudden convert all of your life into an art studio, where you have to convert, all of your silverware into a place to keep your paintbrushes. It doesn't mean that you have to do that. You can do it in little balanced, peaceful bites. In other words, you don't have to go out at it with chaotic, crazy energy, which a lot of people do. When they start to open up their energy, they then tend to be like, oh my God, I'm fearful it's going to be out of control. Or if I start exercising, I won't do the right amount, or too little or too much. I don't know how to balance it. So balance it out with your schedule, meaning that you can do it for half an hour. You can do it for an hour. You can then put it away, and then you can pick up on something else. You can plug and play different areas of your life that you want to ignite. So, and then having and knowing what these are, and then being able to use that workable memory. In other words, remembering and applying what it is you want to become. In other words, those aha moments when you give yourself those answers to those questions. If I wasn't so wounded, I would really love to become. If I wasn't really hurt, I would love to. If I wasn't so afraid, the main thing I would really love to become is. And if I didn't make it so difficult on myself, I would really love to join with others and. So do you see where then you can ask yourself these questions, fill in the blanks. You can have 10, 20 things. After answering those questions, take some time while we do these videos. Ask yourself the questions, write down the answers. You will surprise yourself. And that is the whole joy of awakening, is to surprise yourself. Wow, I really want to be a belly dancer. I want to be into yoga. I want to do ballet. I want to do modern dance. I want to do jazz dance. I want to do meditation. I want to do a prayer circle. I want to be alone and read. But different behaviors and experiences are coming out. That is your free will. That is the real you. That is the real original you. And so when you have in touch with that original, authentic, you've got the juice, you've got the DNA, you've got the secret sauce. So that is where we want to get into that pool, that secret sauce of your free will. It'll help you to dispel that energy. And then when you encounter it, it will not come into your space. It will not impact you. It will not deter what is around you, because you'll be able to see it, identify it, and then deal. You won't feel like you're constantly coping. You'll just be able to assimilate it. That's what it is. Boom, it's out of my energy field. I hope this video helps. It's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. Please share, please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.